Thank you so much for inviting us here at this special day in this conference that we can also present from the Netherlands. We are already very inspired by Korea. We are already here a week. We brought a couple of colleagues of mine from Fontys University of Applied Science and Management. So there are about 10 professors, and there are 40 students, and all the students, perhaps they can stand up and wave to the people who are in the hall. Stand up. Let's show. 감사합니다. I'm from Fontys University of Applied Science, and I'm Monica Veger. You have here my contact address. But most of all, I want to talk about that we are part of a network, and it is called Brainports Eindhoven. Fontys University is one of the partners, one of the knowledge centers who work closely together with Brainports. Brainports Eindhoven is situated in the south of the Netherlands. You can see here the red dot. And Brainport is not only for the city of Eindhoven, but it is really a region around Eindhoven. And they work closely together with knowledge institutes, with companies, and especially the province of that area and the municipality of Eindhoven. And perhaps people know Eindhoven for his high-tech industry. Philips was situated in Eindhoven, and I think you know Philips, the name. Perhaps you also know PSV, the football team of Eindhoven. I think even Hiddink was trainer there, so it's always an important one. It started a couple of years ago, and they started with a triple helix. They said, hey, we have industry, we have government, and we have all kinds of knowledge institutes here in Eindhoven, and we have to combine this expertise, especially central position for the end user, and share and multiply our knowledge. They came to the conclusion that they couldn't do that on their own. So they have to create an environment where they could do research, but also experiment the products, design it together with the students, and put it in the market. Brainport was started in the 90s, where Philips and DAF is a truck company in Eindhoven. They said it went economically a bit less in the region of Eindhoven. Philips was leaving Eindhoven, went to Amsterdam, and overall in the world. And they said there must be something else, and we have to create a network. A network so that we can contribute to each other and work together as companies. In the last 10 to 15 years, ASML is also, I think, a very known industry. They provide the machines for the chips. I think Samsung is one of the big, huge clients of ASML. I live near ASML, and I worry that he doesn't take my house over because they are growing very fast. It's a very important partner in the area of Eindhoven. So it started already 20, 30 years ago. And one of the things I hear is that trust. I heard that from the last speaker. It's really important that you trust each other and that you don't see as companies that you are really concurrent, but that you also can add things to each other. Also, the companies work closely together. So they don't see it as, oh, that is my enemy. No, they see it as friends. And if you work together, then you can achieve much more. Smart city of Eindhoven, and I saw with the last speaker that is not a strange name, smart city. In a way, Eindhoven is like a test city. There are several public spaces and areas where they try out. But if you use the public space, it's really necessary that you work closely together with the end user, with the citizens, and that you collaborate between government, companies, and the citizens, and that also in this city, universities can try out their research. You can say that Eindhoven calls himself the capital of innovation. There's lots of innovation in Eindhoven, and the only way Europe and the Netherlands can survive in this fast-growing and fast-changing world is to focus on innovation and creativity. Also, Eindhoven, Brainport Eindhoven, is a kind of living lab for other smart cities around the world. They can learn from Eindhoven, and they can learn from the smart city, and Eindhoven is very eager to share also the knowledge and the R&D that took place there. For this R&D, it is important, and I talked with one of the members here, I don't remember the name, that they say, I think it's important to start with living labs on a small scale. And I said, yes, I think that's an important one. Because it is also very important to accept that in a living lab you make mistakes. But you learn from the mistakes. A child learns to walk by falling the whole time, by standing up, trying again, adapt his idea, adapt how he has to move. And I think that's the best way and a really interesting way to do a living lab. Try out, see what goes wrong or what goes right, adapt to it and try again. In the Netherlands, design thinking is very important for all kinds of cases, and especially also for our university and Lindesheim University. And there it's really important that you, with the end user, you try out all the things you developed and you adjust it the whole time. And my colleague and I came to the conclusion that Korean people are naturally design thinkers. We like to make plans, and we like to make agendas, and we like to put it in models, etc. But in Korea, it's more, you try out and you start again, and you are less agenda-based, less put things into a program. So also my message to the Korean people, trust yourself. You are such amazing people. You're so design thinkers, you are so innovative. So I really want to give that message to you. So if you want to involve the end user, you have to co-create. So you have to give the end user, the citizens, also responsibility. Let them come up with ideas. Give them a responsibility and a voice. That's in the Netherlands, we have a more flat hierarchy. We have more bottom-up activities, and that's also accepted by governments and by universities and by companies. Of course, it is very important that the government is there. And the government of Eindhoven realized that it's not a triple helix, it is a quadruple helix. So you really need to involve not only knowledge institutes, companies and government, but also from the bottom up, with every step you make, you have to involve the citizens. The citizens shape the city. the citizens want to have a saying in the city. So they went from top down to bottom up and went to co-creation. The interesting thing for Eindhoven is that Eindhoven is very high-tech minded. Philip started there. Philip started the Technical University of Eindhoven. So Eindhoven was for its origin already tech-minded. And the people who came to Eindhoven, who lived in Eindhoven, were also tech-minded because they were very often employees of Philips. Sorry. So at a certain moment, the municipality of Eindhoven said we have to survive. At the moment Philips departed from Eindhoven, they said we have to do something new, and they focused on technology, high tech. If you go to Eindhoven, and really it's an amazing city, I live nearby Eindhoven, you have the high tech campus. The high tech campus are all kinds of bigger and smaller companies, startups, where they find each other on the high-tech campus and help each other. And as a company, you can do a part of the process, and the rest will do the rest. So you have to trust each other that you can do it. There are 6 main themes, and that is safety and standardized digital infrastructure, and public-private partnership with room to experiment, especially co-creating with citizens, education and employability. Eindhoven has a huge lack of technical employees. So for Korean who wants to work in Eindhoven, there are a lot of chances there in lots of huge technology companies. There's also a really lively Korean, how do you call it, network there. And also collaborations with city and the environment, not only Eindhoven, but also Helmond, Tilburg and other cities. It is really important for the municipality, for Brainport itself, that they safeguard the public interest, that they protect also the citizen and that the citizen are heard. Stimulate, of course, economic development and an ecosystem. Support the existing organic approach and future-proof, prepared to change. You need resilient citizens. We need resilient students. Here's some examples. I will also tell something about the Living Lab at Stripe S and at Stratum's Eind. And I say that in a Dutch way, I know. The city itself is a living lab, and I will give you some examples. If you look, for example, for Stratum's Eind, they wanted to, Stratum's Eind is, and some students of us know that, there's like the Hongdae or the Itaewon of Seoul. You have lots of pubs, you have lots of bars, and lots of restaurants. And Stratum's Eind is sometimes very crowded. If there are events, then it could be very crowded. And I must say, and really with pain in my heart, that I feel very safe here in Seoul, and I can walk on the street without feeling unsafe. But sometimes in the Netherlands, when people drink a bit too much or do other things, then safety is involved, that there are not fightings on the streets or that people lose things, etc. So for Stratum's Eind, it was really important that they created a safe environment. So they are busy working on that, and I will give you some more details later. We also have a part, and that's really interesting to see also in Eindhoven. We had Philips factories. We had an environment in Eindhoven where you couldn't enter because it was from Philips. And it was where all the R&D take place, but also the production of the CD, the production of the light bulbs, etc. But then Philips went away, and we had an area in Eindhoven with empty factories. And then the municipality of Eindhoven did this very smart, they had a smart idea. They said, why not use Strike S as a living lab? Why can't we use that to implement all kinds of smart technology? And they say the smart city is that you have the cloud layer, the livable layer, and the infrastructure in that area. If you live in Strijk S, they made huge apartments there. They have given opportunities for startups to start there. And if you live there and if you walk there, you don't really see that it is a living lab, but it's in the way it is. The lights have different colors, and they try out if it's more red, how do the people behave? If it's more blue, do they having more energy, moving more activities? Or if you do a more green light, is it more calmer then? So they do a lot of measurements also there, and the people who live there and walk there knows about it, and also give their inputs what they like and what they dislike. So they also give a tender to a couple of startups. And if you looked very carefully at my name, you see my name in it, Atelier Vega. My last name is Vega. It's not my husband, it is my brother, so it's really nice. There are startups who have ideas, and they got a tender from Eindhoven, from the city of Eindhoven, to develop further. They got 20,000 euro each. And Eindhoven said, we find that very important that those startups get the opportunity to grow and measure at Strijbes, measure in the city, to measure if their idea is really accepted by the citizen, how do they look like it, can you make business out of it? Perhaps if you see, oh, this is a really good one, you can try out, make a better design, and then perhaps sell it to other cities. My brother is busy making an interactive billboard so that users and residents can respond to their environment 24/7. So it's kind of like a communication tool. Also, the Technical University of Eindhoven and an area between Eindhoven and Helmond it said that they want to build a new area there, and they are using all kinds of smart ideas together with the students of Eindhoven, together with the researchers of Technical University Eindhoven, Tilburg University, but also all kind of companies who say, oh, we can try out here and see if it works. Also, the citizens are informed and also every time asked, what do you experience in this area where there is lots of technology? I'm going a bit quicker to Stratums Eind, I promised you that. Stratums Eind, I already said, is where the bars and the restaurants are. And the municipality of Eindhoven was concerned. They wanted to make it a safer place than it was. And they put, with the help of the Technical University and students, my own son worked in this project, to see how people are moving, how people, the crowd control, also use of social media in that area can also predict what can happen. And for the police, it's then a really good information for, hey, something, oh, everything is quiet, so it goes right. Or, hey, there is perhaps danger, we have to come into action. Okay, to conclude, there is a high amount of living labs throughout whole Eindhoven. You have to try out, it gives companies the opportunity to work together, to come to real innovation, try out, scale up, and come to new business models. It gives the government, the municipality of Eindhoven, and also the province of Brabant, the opportunity to let the economy grow, to come to a safer community, and that problems that they face are solved by companies and students. It gives the knowledge center, universities, the opportunity to involve their students, that they learn by doing, that they learn by also related to the companies, related to the target group, the end users, and that they are prepared to work in a fast-changing environment. And it helps the citizens because their problems are the most important ones, their needs, their beliefs, and their values. Thank you.